Welcome to the ANTD podcast. I'm your host, Amy Witters, and this is my co-host and wonderful husband, Daniel Witters. And tonight we've got a special treat because he's going to take the lead, and he chose the topic for this podcast tonight. So why don't you let him know what it is?
You want to fight?
For your right?
To party.
We're going to talk about party?
No, we're going to talk about how to fight right.
Ooh, fight right, okay.
Which is something we don't know how to do, but...
I think we've definitely gotten better at it, but in the beginning, for sure, we didn't know how to fight right.
What do you think this is, man? Trying to take my spot. You want some of this? Can you remember any specific fights that we've been in that are memorable? I got mine. Don't steal mine.
No, I just know that anytime we'd get in a fight, you would run. Like, I'm leaving. And then I'd never know what girl's house you were going to or what you were going to do or if you were going where you said you were or when you were coming back, if you were coming back. And then I would just sit with anxiety.
Yeah, so there's the person I am now fights versus the person I am now fights. It's two different type of fights.
For sure, night and day. I
remember one time when you have to remember this. But I was lying to you.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
And I was cheating on you and I was lying, or I'd stopped cheating on you, but I moved to San Diego and I was just,
I can't wait till we do the whole cheating episode.
But we moved to San Diego. I don't know if you had moved there yet or you were just visiting.
I was visiting. I had helped you move.
Yeah.
And found out during the move, my friend called me and was like, "Are you with him? Because I need to tell you something." And then you were lying about it, whatever. So I helped you move out there. And then I came back and was trying to figure out if I was going to, I don't know, stay with you or talk to you about it or whatever. So I came back. I flew out there to find out the truth. And you just kept lying.
Lying? Why you always lying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was lying, and we were driving down the freeway going 80, and I was lying, sticking to my lies, and you just socked me in my head as hard as you could and almost knocked me out while we were driving. You were willing to die for the truth.
Yeah.
And I don't condone violence.
I just it's so disrespectful when somebody insults your intelligence.
True.
I knew you were not telling me the truth. At least I could have respected you a little bit if you was yeah, I did it. This is why I did it. I'm sorry. You know what I mean? Help me understand maybe a little bit. But
I don't think there's no understanding for cheating. I don't think there's hey, yeah, it's because this. Nah. You still made that decision. You knew it wasn't right. You knew it was going to hurt the other person. You just did it because you're selfish and
you're a loser.
Yeah, you just did it because you're putting yourself and your feelings and what you want first. And it's a waste because at the end of the day, the truth always comes out.
Yeah, and sometimes it's years and years later and you find out more stuff that you had no idea about.
Yeah, I don't feel like I was always good at I don't know. I think in order to fight right, you have to create the right environment, right? So that both people aren't scared to be out and open and worried. But that's a reason why you shouldn't do stuff you're not supposed to do, because then you won't have to worry. I have nothing to worry about right now. What?
I'm just thinking of a time that could have went real ugly and we actually had a constructive conversation about some things that came out years later that I had no idea about. Remember when we went to Irv's Burgers?
But I thought you knew.
And I had no idea.
But I don't understand why you would want to know details of stuff. Because I would never want.
I just didn't want any more stuff to come out later on that I didn't know. Because it's you heal the wound, right? And then it's you find more stuff out. It's you're reopening that wound, and then it takes longer to heal. And yeah, I just didn't want any more surprises. And I would rather know all the ugliness of it, which I think I handled pretty well.
I agree.
This recent time we had a discussion about it. But I was just so caught off guard. I'm sorry, what? What'd you just say?
Which I thought you I don't know.
This whole no, I yeah.
I thought you knew everything.
I
I
knew
didn't
you
realize you wanted to know
I knew
specifics.
I knew that you were like talking to all kinds of girls, right? Which could just be like literally just like texting, talking, trying to take their money. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I thought it was only like one person that you had this like
One parson?
relationship with, person that you had this relationship with, and to find out like no, it wasn't just one. It's like others. Like oh, okay. Well, let's talk about that.
But I thought you, in my opinion, we could talk about this on the cheating episode, but when you found my iPad with like messages from multiple girls, I thought you knew that there was multiple
No, the
girls.
iPad was just the one girl.
Well, you only read one
I
message.
found your passcode for your
Mm.
phone one night while you were in the shower before you were going to work. And it was just like flirtatious conversation. I didn't think you know what I mean? Like I knew it was dancer, so I was like, oh, he's probably, it's just like trying to get their money type thing. I didn't know there were a couple that you were,
You know.
you know. Blech.
But back to fighting, right? You got the
Yeah.
shaky leg. You about to fight me right now?
No, I just uh.
But
Anyway.
which is, I think it's always better to tell the truth, because I think a lot of the times whatever we have pictured in our minds is way worse than what the actual truth is. The truth is still horrible, but what's in you can create stuff in your mind that is 1,000 times worse, in my
I don't
opinion.
know. That combo at Grimaldi's was pretty rough, but that was like us having a constructive discussion about it. Whereas, like,
Yeah.
if this was years before that, I probably would have tried to hit you again and stuff. I was just like, okay, let's just tell me everything. I'm not gonna get mad at you. I'm not gonna yell. I just need to know so that I can heal. And you're just like, I don't want to tell you this. I don't.
Which goes back to point number one, which is you have to create a comfortable environment for both sides. If one person is uncomfortable or they feel backed in a corner, then they're just gonna be defensive or attack or not tell the truth. Give her your binky.
My binky.
Yeah. So point number one, or tip number one, is
You got
create.
any cheat notes?
Nah, I'm good.
Wow.
I'm not a cheater anymore.
Ooh, that
That's
was a
good.
good one.
Yeah, don't create an environment where both sides are comfortable so that you don't have to be defensive. You could just let everything out. And then tip number two is tell the freaking truth, right?
Always.
The truth will set you free.
Always, because you could at least respect somebody. You might not like what they have to say, but at least if you're telling the truth in the future, it just makes it easier to believe somebody. You keep lying, I'm going to be like, I don't know what the truth is anymore.
I think it's insane the amount of things I used to lie about versus now.
Just dumb stuff.
Yeah. I think that goes back to who you surround yourself with too. It's like if you're surrounding yourself with people who lie all the time and manipulate, then you're gonna be like that too. Now I'm surrounded by people that tell the truth and are like probably
Yeah,
too
you actually
honest.
have a really good, solid group of guy friends now.
Just put her on your lap. Sonny wants to join the conversation.
All right. Get you situated here, sister.
What up, Sonny girl? What up, Sonny Pooh? Oh, what is it? What is it? Honey? Hi. Hi, yeah. Happy girl. But yeah, if you don't tell the truth, then you don't get to have little blessings like this. You know what I mean? If you
I know you
lie,
could have ruined this whole thing.
man, for real.
God is good.
Yeah, point number two, always tell the truth, right? Which
Mhm.
I think, right, if you look at before how we were, lie, scared, fight,
She's like, you lied, Dad.
I was a liar. I almost lost it all. And then now it's like create a good environment, tell the truth, right? You have
Mhm.
any truth you think you need to tell me? Secrets you've been holding out on me?
No.
That's one thing I always, the difference between you and every other girl that I ever talked to is I never felt like I had to worry about you lying to me or doing stuff behind my back.
Which makes no sense because, like, Why do that to somebody that you trust completely?
I don't anything that I could like if you ask me that, why would you do that? Anything I would say, it would just sound like I'm not taking ownership for what I
Yeah.
did. So I'm always afraid to try to explain myself because it's it's lame. Whatever I have to say is lame. I could tell you the reason like why I think like my opinion, but at the end of the day, what I did was like I freaking hurt my best friend in the whole universe. Like it's crazy. So
Yeah.
I have no like
Why am I
excuse.
about to cry?
I don't know. I love you.
Love you too.
But yeah, I know like man, my mom left when I was 6. That jacked me up when it came to women. I got molested when I was 6. That jacked me up like sexually. So it's like those two things at a super young age and you're trying to process that like you don't know how to handle that stuff. And then yeah, man, like I have sex when I was in high school and then I get in trouble for having sex. I went to a private Christian high school. So then that jacks me up even more, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't and then I get cheated on while my mom is dying in the hospital. And then you still try to do the right thing and yeah, man. And then you start working at a strip club and you're like a freaking
Yeah, it's just a recipe for disaster, really.
but we were good at the beginning. But yeah, then you're surrounded by people who are
I know
bad
you
influence.
faked me out in the beginning.
I was good at the
Putting
beginning.
flowers on my doorstep. You
That was
take my
real.
dog out for a walk. We go for walks and under the moonlight at my house. Like you'd build furniture for me. You write me love
Yeah,
notes.
that was
Like
all real. And then
I never thought that you would do what you did.
I didn't either because it didn't make sense, right? Like you let all this stuff get to your head, the money,
Yeah.
power, sex, like all that stuff gets to your head. And then you start to realize it's just like with anything else that this world has to offer. It's a counterfeit to what God has to offer and what the real thing is, right? Like we did everything backwards. Moving, have sex, moving together, get pregnant, have a baby, or get pregnant, get married, get married, have a baby. Like everything was backwards. And if I was like looking at different studies and statistics on marriage, and it's crazy, people who go to church with their spouse, the divorce rate is like 40 something percent. So you're already like, just from having a godly, like a moral, like standpoint, you have a lower chance of getting divorced. And then spouses who pray together on a regular basis, it drops even more. And then the crazy one was spouses who work together, it's like a 1 in 1600 chance or sorry, 1 in 1100 chance that they'll get divorced. So it's like
Well, we worked together.
but yeah, and we didn't get divorced. But we weren't
Yeah,
married.
but
We
wasn't.
we weren't married at the club.
Yeah, but we
We
worked
but
together.
now we go to church, so that drops our percentage down. We pray every day together and we work together. So yeah, like it's not gonna happen. And we got Sunny Pooh. I love you.
Is she smiling at you or is she looking at
Pooh.
you like she's disappointed in what we're talking about?
She don't know what's going on. Maybe. But yeah, always tell the truth, in my opinion. And then what do you think? What's your bonus tip? What's your tip? Your third
No,
tip?
this ain't my thing. This your thing.
I want to hear your opinion. What's your that's my two.
I think it's important if the other person needs a minute to think and process some, like if you're about to have an
Mm,
argument and the other person is like, can I just take a couple minutes or like take some time to myself to process everything, that the other person isn't like, no, we need to figure this out right
yeah.
now. Because I used to be like that with you and it would just push you away. And then there's been times now where you'll do that to me. And I'm like, I really, if you just let me think about it or even sleep on it, like I know you're not supposed to let the sun go down on your anger, but if you let me sleep on it, most of the time I wake up in the morning and I'm like, oh, that was dumb. Let's just go talk about it. And then I'm like way more cool. Whereas if you want to poke the bear right off the jump, I'm going to be nasty. I'm going to yell. I'm not going to want to hear anything you have to say and
I
vice
think the
versa.
funny thing with you is now you know I'm not going to do anything like ever. And
Mm,
yeah, you do.
I
And
still worry about that from time to time, though.
yeah, you might worry about it, but you know, like it's totally different now. I ain't going nowhere at nighttime. I'm not like you know where I'm at all the time. There's no way that you would really think that I would go do something like that. There's no way.
It's always like in the back of my mind.
Right? But that's in your mind. In real life, it's never going to happen.
But yeah, like majority of the time, I'm not thinking about that.
Yeah, and which I
It's
think,
usually like when I'm on my period that my thoughts will start going
yeah, your
crazy. But even
hormones are
then,
crazy.
well,
Why are
and I'm
girls
postpartum too.
why can't you guys control that? Like,
It's like your progesterone or something rises or it dips around when you're about to get your period. Like you get way more emotional about stuff. Like it'll even trip me out. I'm like, what? Like, why do I feel like the world is ending? Like my life is over. And then
so then what's
me and you
the
will talk and you'll be like, oh my gosh, just get your period already. I'm like, oh, that's what it is. I just need to get my period. I'm not super soft.
so what's advice for couples?
I seen this thing. Oh gosh, I think her name is Dr. Mindy, and she explained to the dude in the interview like how you should go about treating or catering to your girlfriend or your wife on their
Mm,
like different phases of their cycle because we are so up and down. Like y'all get pumped testosterone just steady every 15 minutes, whereas like
mm,
our cycles are crazy.
yeah. So number 3, have sex.
No, that's not what that wasn't my point.
But I'm saying my point, my number 3
How
is
you
sex.
go from 1 2 to a bonus point to now we're at point
I
3? That
forgot
don't make
about
no
it. I
sense.
forgot about it when you said the
He
testosterone.
ain't gonna be leading these podcasts from now on
You're
because
way
you have
better.
no structure,
You're way
bruh.
better.
My gosh.
Have sex. Money. Get money.
I don't do that. These kids were
Get money.
immaculate conception.
Get money. Be healthy and have sex. Which was the
That's your fighting tactics? That don't
no,
make no
those are the 3
sense.
keys to a healthy marriage.
Mm.
Besides putting God in the middle of everything. The glue.
The easiest is just be best friends, bruh. Like, build your relationship off being friends first and
Yes.
putting God before everything,
Yes.
and you'll be straight.
Yes, you were the only girl that didn't give it up.
My parents raised me right.
For real. But what would you say, like, there's
What's funny is that I got picked on in school, and girls would like call me a whore and stuff because I loved makeup. So I'd wear like a full face of makeup before YouTube and all that stuff was cool. I was just ahead of my time,
so
but I was a
what would
prude.
you say to a young lady that may have already had sex or had sex too early, they're in their 20s or
It's never
30?
too late to turn it around and give your life to God and do it the
Yeah.
right way.
Don't pick your nose.
Go get a paper towel. There's wipes in my bathroom. Just get those. Or take one of my cotton rounds.
So what would you say to a young lady, maybe in their 18, 20, whatever, had sex too early, or a young man that they did it too early, and like how to do what you did and why that's more important, like to not just give it up right away.
I mean, I was really disappointed that I didn't wait till marriage, but someone kind of took that away from me
Right.
when I was 19, which, man, my parents are watching this. They're going to be like, what the heck? So I was like really disappointed that I didn't get to wait till marriage. But I mean, there's no shame, there's no condemnation, right? Like you just need to start living your life for God and turning it around. Like focus on building a relationship or building a friendship with a guy. And if that guy doesn't respect your boundaries and doesn't respect your values, then he ain't it. Like he's going to be like, "Oh, you don't really like me then if you ain't going to like okay, yeah, no, I don't cuz you would respect me if you really liked me and loved, you know what I mean? Like you would respect my boundaries."
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that
And don't feel like you have to do it to like fit in or you know what I mean? Like it's way cooler to respect and value your body and treat it like a temple and all that.
yeah. What's the matter?
Here, can you give her this?
Corinthian, you gotta shut that door, buddy. You're ruining the light. Yeah, I think that like just the culture we live in now, where everybody just hooks up.
Yeah, nobody values love.
Yeah, and I think
And the people that do, it's so hard for them to find a good person.
yeah, and I think that most people don't really know what love actually is, which is like when you're with somebody else, you got to give them 100%, and you can't expect anything in return. Like that, like unconditional love is what changes people, right? Right? Like that's what you did for me, and that's what changed me.
I think it's time to wrap it up.
Yep. All right. So,
Sonny's sleepy.
in order to fight right, create a good environment, a safe and healthy environment where nobody's scared or feels intimidated by the other person or feels like the other person's going to leave them from
Yeah,
what
you
they
got to
say.
put your pride to the side.
Yeah. Then tell the truth. What was the third one?
Oh my gosh.
Have sex.
Let's just end this episode
Don't
right
have
now.
sex.
I'm gonna
Say
laugh if this episode like does the best too because it's so unorganized. Because
it was halfway organized. I had some
Mm.
statistics.
it's just because you're not a cheater anymore and you couldn't put the codes on your hand.
Yeah.
Anyway, we love you guys. Remember to like, subscribe, comment. Let us know
Share
what
it
else
with
you want.
somebody
Yeah,
who's a cheater. Share with,
save that for that episode.
share it with somebody who fights a lot or whatever. Don't fight. Love each other, man.
Yeah.
Life's too short. Life's too short. You could get in a car accident, get cancer, die. Don't be stupid. Don't fight for over no reason.
Yeah, just fight for your right to
To
party.
party.
Catch you in the next episode.
Peace.
Peace.